Hey everyone, it is Poppin' Pauses with Kim Nicole. It is your girl Kim Nicole. So I know right now I'm in the bed, and you might say you're always in the damn bed, but not the case. I'm in the bed. It's like 10:30 at night, and I wanted to hop on because I'm trying to find some time to make these videos, y'all, and that's why you haven't seen me upload a video in a while because life been life, and also that for some reason my videos have not been publishing to YouTube. So I got to find out what's going on with that. And like I said before, I'm new to this, I'm a beginner, so bear with me. But I did want to jump on because we only been 10 days in to this new administration, and already, as you would expect, a lot of shit is going on. And it's chaotic. Welcome to the Trump world, right? So, but particularly, I wanted to talk about the federal funding freeze. So, if you don't know, I think it was yesterday. It was either, I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I mean, so much stuff is happening at a lightning speed that I don't even know what day it happened. But I believe it was like Tuesday, and then Wednesday they put a freeze on it, or that same day. But anyway, so your favorite clown has decided that he's going to stop all funding, that all federal funding to programs that receive these funds, right? And so, what does that mean exactly? So, if you're a student and you go to college or university and you receive a TAP or Pell Grant, and I believe that's federal funded, then that would, a stop payment would be made on that. If you receive Medicaid, they stop the payments going to providers for the Medicaid. If you have Section 8, they stop the payments being made to Section 8. Okay? So, the list goes on. If you receive SNAP, they stop the funding for SNAP. WIC. If you are part of the HUD block grants that's federally funded, like if you are in a housing or apartment building that receives HUD money, then you wouldn't get paid for that either. And child care, the list goes on. You wouldn't receive any payments. The providers wouldn't receive payments to those child care programs, so that you wouldn't receive any payments for that. Breakfast and school lunch stopped. So basically, what he did was stop a lot of shit. Okay. And what he also did was illegal. Okay. He cannot, even as president of the United States, he cannot stop funding to programs that was already approved through Congress. Okay, these funds was already appropriated to Congress before he even took office. So that's illegal. And there's a law that's called impounding. And that law basically says that a president can't get to pick and choose which programs and things he wants to stop funding from based on if whether he likes it or not. And so this whole law came about because the former president back in the 70s, Richard Nixon, actually tried to do the same thing. And so when he did it, they had to stop him. And it actually went to the United States Supreme Court, who voted unanimously that that was illegal. And they put a law in place to prevent future presidents from doing that. So it's called impounding. You can Google it and look it up. But basically, that's what number 47 just tried to do. And so apparently when that happened the other night, a federal judge suspended that freeze and told basically Trump that he can't do that. And even before that happened, what was I going to say? Before that happened, there were a bunch of people, and rightfully so, state attorney generals, file suit to stop him from doing that. Because number one, it's illegal. He doesn't get to all funding and things like that have to go through Congress. Congress does the checks and balances. Congress is the entity, right? The branch of government that passes these things so they can get through. The president can't do that. And so that is illegal. So, of course, I think that they was here's the same playbook, okay? Number 47 continues to do illegal stuff. That ain't nothing new. He has 34 felony counts. He's a convicted felon and a president. And he's been getting away with illegal things all this time. So, think about it. So now he's like, and who's going to stop me? So right now, it has been suspended until Monday. So Monday, they're going to be back at the table and trying to see what they're going to do. But to me, there's nothing to see here because the Supreme Court ruled against it. But again, we're dealing with a different type of Supreme Court. So my thought is that this administration wants this to go to the Supreme Court, so the Supreme Court, who are the MAGA Supreme Court, except for the three other justices, are basically may rule against this, just like they did Roe versus Wade. So we shall see what happens. But if they do that, that's going to be really traumatic to the American economy, to Americans, it's going to be crazy. It's already wild outside and it's just going to be freaking crazy. So I don't know. And so this is his whole thing. So I want to know, does this feel like America is great again? I really want to know. Veterans won't get stuff. Their payments would be stopped. Like a lot of things. People that have any kind of cancer research funding for big health initiatives. You're playing with people's fucking life. And in so many ways. So that is something that we all need to push back on and push back hard. We all need to be calling our representatives and staying on their ass. And also, by the way, in 2 years, Congress, a lot of people in Congress are going to be up for re-election. If we still have elections, I don't know. But this is important shit, folks. And we need to be very mindful and diligent. And we have to push back on our rights. Look, with a stroke of a pen, he effectively took away black people's civil rights. And so I know I'm one of the 92% who did not vote for him. And the reason is because look what's going on. We saw what was happening on the first one. Now look at the second term. I'm trying to find the silver lining. There was a silver lining though, that that federal judge stopped him, but I feel like he's just like, who's gonna stop me? He keeps testing his limits of power, and he's just like, F that. I'm just take shit. And that's basically what he's doing. But for those of you who don't know, that is illegal. So, um, yeah. So we shall see what happens on Monday. In the meantime, let's just quickly chat about something else that's interesting and everybody should be up in arms about, and that's the fact that these health agencies, he has essentially told them not to communicate any kind of recalls, any kind of bird flu, any kind of health, major national health situation, or maybe statewide, situation, that these agencies are no longer able to communicate any kind of issues to the public. That's freaking crazy. And so when you really think about it, I'm starting to think our whole way of life is going to change. And even down to, I'm starting to think I might just be going vegan for real. And I mean, like, I might stop eating chicken, turkey, um, beef I don't really eat anyway, but beef I may stop, because there's so many things going on and we will never know. We will never know. Why? Because these agencies are banned from sharing that type of information with the public. So for going forward, I'm also thinking about getting my news from other countries while we can. I'm laughing, but it's so not funny. And so, I was thinking about, maybe looking to what's happening in Canada and seeing, because they're closest to us, and seeing, what's going on in their world, especially health wise. You know, also, well, this video is about 12 minutes, but I also wanted to touch on, I was talking to my son and to my kids in general and telling them that we all got to get these real IDs, which are the driver's license with the chip in it. So now the real ID is what's going to be required just to travel domestically. Domestically, you're going to need a real ID, which is the driver's license with the chip inserted inside of it. And so this needs to be done before May 7th, because May 7th, that's when this goes into effect. So if you want to travel from, like, if you want to travel from California to DC, or from Miami to New York, you're going to need a real ID or some other, you might need to travel with your birth certificate, the whole nine. It's ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. And so, and now I'm also hearing that in other countries, if you want to fly internationally now, in some of these European countries, for example, you're going to need, what they're requiring American citizens to have some type of passport or visa style documentation that you have to buy from them and purchase through their country and their website. Some of them I think were like $12, but just to want to be able to travel between the United States and that European country. So Google that. It's real, and it's getting really wild outside. It's I call it wild because it's like the wild wild west. But yeah. So those are just some of the things that I wanted to hop on here and talk about briefly before I go to bed. And tomorrow, tomorrow, over the weekend, I'm going to come back with some other videos that's a little more informative and touching base on some other things. There was an accident today. American Airlines, a plane crash that killed everybody on the board. It was horrific, and I want to talk to you guys about that tomorrow. But for the most part, let me know in the comments what your thoughts about this federal freeze. How is it impacting you? And yeah, what are your thoughts? Like, get in the comments because it's crazy. And I know that I have family members that's personally affected. I mean, my son goes to college and he's could be affected by these. He gets loans. I mean, not loans, but he gets the federal funding. So let me know how you guys feel if your family or friend or yourself is impacted by these things. I mean, it's so broad. But anyway, I'm going to talk to y'all later. Have a good night. And thank you for watching Poppin' Politics with Kim Nicole. Next time you see me, I will not be in my bed. Later. Good night.